Okay, so welcome back and switching up to our music section. So JR, we now have a release date for Drake's Iceman. The indication is gonna be May the 15th. Anything you want to add to that? Any details, about the upcoming album?
Breeze is about to drop. The game is in disarray.
All
Hey, let's
right.
go. Iceman is on the way. You know how they go now. So May
Yeah.
15th, Iceman supposedly coming to freeze the world. I think it was cool with the rollout and how we found the release dates with the ice block monuments in Toronto. I think it was a very nice way to involve your fans and get them hyped up for your project. It felt like a fortnight event. People went there, they were going there with canisters or trying to light a fire, trying to guess what part of the ice block contained the release date. And I think it was a young streamer in Toronto who eventually found the hidden package and revealed that it was going to be dropping on May the 15th. So I think it's been a minute since Aubrey got into his rollout for an album bag. I think we can see he has attached a little bit of importance to this album, and he knows how legacy defining it is for him. So I'll bring my boy in Franchi here. What do you think about Iceman, and what do you think the content of the album is going to conceal? And what do you say to people that say, oh, they don't want to hear him talk about what has happened over the past 2 years? He needs to let it go and he needs to move on.
Man, man, Drake, I used to be a Drake hater. I ain't even going front on that. But Drake is a legendary artist. Like, I must have gone into an argument with some random chick one time about Drake being like Michael Jackson of this generation. And man, I think he is like the catalog, the hits he has, like the global hits. You don't even know where to put. You can't put Drake in a box, So
True.
just keen to see what this album, is gonna offer, like the diversity. I'm just trying to hear some good music. I don't care if he talks about what happens 2 years, man. If Drake goes blah 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 blah, I'm still gonna rock with it because that guy is, a proper genius artist, and I can't wait to hear what he has in stock. I heard Central C's got a future on it. I don't
Nice.
know if you heard any about. I heard about any other collaborations on the album, but I know he's trying to keep it tight for now. But I think Central C is gonna be on it.
So
Yeah,
still
you
on
check
the
it
on
out.
the Drake album, yeah. To be honest, yeah. I'm looking forward to it now. I did say I wasn't looking forward to it a week ago, but JR suddenly, convinced me and made me feel like, okay, it might be worth a listen. So I think Drake
The
is, as we've
fuck?
all
Wait,
touched
wait, wait,
on,
hold
Con
on.
one of
Wait, like,
convinced him.
convince you to listen to
yeah,
Aubrey?
yeah, I
The
have to be
fuck?
convinced, bro. I have to be convinced, my G. I'm gonna be
Sorry.
honest.
Sorry.
Bro, you listen to Odumodu, man. What are you talking
I
about? You
have to be
listen
Like,
to
convinced,
bro,
my
Odumodu.
G.
convince you?
As I told you, I was on the Kendrick side of the beef. So, I was really hyped about what Kendrick
You
did, and I
live
was
in the
glad to see
six.
that
You live in the
Drake
six.
finally. Nah, I don't live in the six, my G.
Traitors,
So,
Franchi, help me tell these guys. But all these traitors, man. No worry. Drizzy is coming for you. We got something for you. Tap you on your head
yeah,
tap.
look, he should come correct, man. I'm a good lover of music, so it doesn't even matter if if the album is a good album, I'm gonna bump it. It's as simple as that. I'm not gonna be on
So,
the playing the hater saying good album, but I don't fuck with Drake. Nah, nah, that's not the vibe.
can you
If
pull out
Drake
your
did,
Spotify and check your most listened artists? Check where Kendrick and Drake is. I want to
so
see
first
something.
one,
Yo,
I don't use Spotify. I use Apple Music, and then if
Apple
you even want to
Music
touch
too.
on my Apple Music most played, trust me, you're not gonna find Drake. You're probably gonna find a couple Kendrick. You're gonna find Juice WRLD there. Who else would you find? You probably find Asake there before Drake, to be honest. But look, this has nothing to do with Drake. I'm not against Drake as an artist. As I said, Drake is one of the best to ever do it, and I'm looking forward to see what he has to say on the album. Honestly, I'm hoping he could actually win back some of his fan base because it kind of looked like Kendrick snatched his chain, if I'm being honest, in,
No, no,
in
no,
the
no, no.
beef.
That's what you Kendrick fans like to tell yourself because men
Yeah,
lie,
that's
women
what
lie,
we.
but numbers don't. Wait, hold
No,
up. In
yeah,
the infamous,
no, come
in the
on, bro.
infamous words of Jigga, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. How did
Numbers
Kendrick
don't. If
snatch his fans if Drake is the first artist in history to have nine of his albums chart consecutively in the Billboard Top 200? The numbers don't support what you just said. If anything,
Nah, bro,
Drake lent some of his fans to Kendrick. They listened to that bullshit
he's
and they're
about
like,
to take them
nah,
back, yeah?
nah, we're good on that because his numbers spiked up when he was
No,
going
but
against Drizzy. And now that he hasn't talked about Drake in a while, he has gone back to his level. So if anyone was lending
His
fans or
level,
anything,
okay.
it was Kendrick that got new audience and they listened to that bing, bap, boom, bap. And they're like, nah, we probably don't want to
Man,
struggle
bro,
off.
you keep saying boom back. Come on, Kendrick dropped some gems on the album. But this conversation is really
I'm
not
just
about
being,
Ken, no,
yeah.
no
I
cap.
mean, frankly, you were there when the Nas and the Jigga beef took place too. Even though people
Nas
felt
won the
like
beef.
Nas probably got the best of Jigga in it, people did, like I was telling you last week, Skips. We didn't then try to rewrite Jay's legacy, right? And say, oh,
Yeah.
Jay never dropped Reasonable Doubts. By the way, Hard Knock Life was trash. By the way, which is what they try to do to Drake.
Nah, you're not
It's
gonna
one
hear
thing
me
to say,
say
oh,
stuff
I
like
think
that,
Kendrick
bro.
had the better
No, no
of
way.
the back and forth.
No way.
Then, but we started getting narratives like, oh, Drake has not even done anything to hip hop culture. Oh, Kendrick is,
That's just trash, man.
which is why
That's trash talk,
Iceman, like I
bro.
said,
Yeah.
Iceman is a legacy defining album in the sense that Drake is probably going to do his usual numbers, and we're already seeing the brands trying to tap into the old Iceman rollout. We see Cores, we see Chargers, we see so many social media brands tapping into Drake because I think, like I said, Drake hasn't participated in a proper rollout in a very long time. He's just been contractually fit and fulfilling his contract with UMG. He just drops an album, gets his money, recoups, and he goes on tour. So I think people started to forget the mega star and brand that Drake is,
Who
right?
Drizzy is, yeah.
Drizzy is where you started hearing things like Drake needs Lil Baby to be hot. I mean, that was the narrative for the
Yeah,
past 2 years.
right.
Like Drake needed Atlanta to get hot because, like I said, because it was on some peace out body shit. Everybody forgot who was actually handing out the stimulus. It's Drake. Like, what are we talking
Now
about?
it's
It's Drake.
Drake, man. I
Which,
think I completely agree with you in that
yeah,
opinion because we've all seen artists that no one has ever heard of have a single with Drake and suddenly they are blown. You know, they become top A stars because of you just had one track with Drake. So, bro, Drake is that guy, man.
yeah.
There's no
It's
doubt
one
about
thing to
that.
say
I,
he
yeah,
lost the battle with Kendrick, or which to me, I think we've had this discussion before. I don't want to go back and forth. It depends on how you view the battle. Are you talking about lost the battle from a social point of view, or if we're speaking strictly hip hop? Because if we're judging hip hop beef, we literally judge them based on the tracks, the punchlines, the raps.
bars,
If
eh?
the bars, if that's what we are going over, I would say Kendrick got the better of him slightly because I felt they both had piercing bars. And I'm not talking about the sensationalization of a minor or bro. All those things sound cool, but if we're actually judging bars, right? Like it's catchy, but I wouldn't say because you got called a pedophile at the Super Bowl, that means your diss track was more creative than mine. Socially, it might seem like yours is popping, but like I said, Kendrick probably got the better of him in hip hop, but socially, because of everything that happened, the Grammys and all that, you might think the ass whooping from Dots was bigger than what it actually was. So while I
Yeah,
believe,
it's fair to say.
yeah,
Yeah, the media made it bigger than it actually was by forcing that narrative that, Kendrick won the beef and it doesn't matter what anyone has to say, Kendrick is the man and Drake is sort of past tense. Well,
true.
I guess it's up to Aubrey to come back and show everyone who he actually is,
Okay.
give us a taste of the music flavor that made us fall in love with the style from the beginning. And I hope this is going to be an album that has a lot of tracks, not just a couple, because if there's a multitude of tracks, then you actually have an option to find the one that works best and flows
True.
best for you based on the style of music that you like. So
hmm
let's see what Drake has to do. It's August, it's May 15. We're talking 3 weeks from now, I'll be
Yeah.
bumping the new Drizzy. So
Before we wrap
um
up on this session, I want you guys to give me your bold prediction. So, what do you think his first week numbers are going to look like? I think
hmm,
his last collab project with uh Party Next Door did I think about 290 something or 300. That was in the middle of the hit train, and I think it was a number one album. But his last solo project, which was For All the Dogs, I think he sold about 400 and something thousand, which was a huge first week opening for an album. So what are your predictions for Iceman? I'll throw it to you, Franchi. What do you think Iceman is probably gonna do in his first week?
Okay, so while Franchi is reconnecting, I'll just take the baton from Franchi.
hmm
I do think Iceman is going to do about 350 to 400K in terms of numbers. honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to, crack 500 because, as we said earlier, Drake is sort of Mr. Numbers, and there are gonna be a lot of ladies, lover boys, waiting for
And
this
don't
album
forget
that's
the
gonna pump
haters
up the
as well.
numbers.
What people don't understand
And the
is
haters, you're right, man. So
the numbers are going to be racked up by the haters who already have their narratives they want to run with. That's why I said I started off with the
exactly.
line from 8 over 10 by Drizzy that says, Drizzy is about to drop. The game is in disarray. At the end of the day, I'll probably tell you play, but at the end of the day, your sister is pressing play, your mother is pressing play.
Absolutely.
Everyone is going to play, regardless of whether you like Drake, you think he's soft, you think he lost the beef, you
Even
think
if it's to hear what he has to say, you're
exactly.
gonna press play.
Everyone is going to play. So I think I'm going to add another extra 100,000 to your prediction. You said 350, 400. I'm thinking somewhere
Yeah.
between 450 and 550. I think Drake's probably going to do that. So especially if he drops the
Let's
single,
throw it back to
yeah, to
Franchi
Francis.
then.
Yeah,
What do you
Francis. So
think in
Um,
what
terms
are
of
your
numbers?
predictions?
What's Drake gonna do?
I'm putting between 400 and 500K because he's global like that. Yeah,
True.
Yeah,
but
so
we'll see
like
how
it
that
seems three
goes.
of us are in the same range then,
Ballpark.
while
True.
talking 4 to 500. So I
Hmm.
guess we'll all agree it's gonna be a major success, yeah?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
Okay, so still on we talked about Drake being the Michael Jackson of his generation. So let's tap into the actual Michael Jackson. We did see that MJ had a recent biopic release, and the indication is it's been quite a success because it's sort of broken records for a music biopic, and it's
Nice.
raked in about $217 million in global
Wow.
sales, despite the mixed reviews. So personally, I really haven't had a look at the biopic, but I've sort of seen the trailer, and I think the guy they use is sort of a Michael Jackson family member, and it does look like something that would be interesting, especially for someone that's an MJ fan. Are you guys looking forward to the biopic? Is this something you're gonna be watching in your spare time? What about you, JR? Are you gonna watch it?
Oh, for sure. The king of pop, like you said. I don't think we're ever going to see any celebrity with that type of status again globally. Like, he's such a recognizable brand. When you talk about brand names like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Michael Jackson is way up there, right? And for this new generation, some of them who didn't grow up in the era of MJ, they hear the older generation revere him and speak about him in certain circles, and they can't comprehend why we place him on that pedestal. So I think this biopic is probably going to do some justice to that. Let everyone understand, and let the new generation understand how popular and how crazy Michael Jackson's celebrity status was. So definitely, I'll be tapping in once it comes around in cinemas. I'm probably going to go check it out. I know there's a little bit of mixed reviews. I think some people are not happy that certain parts of his life or certain events that happened were played or portrayed in a different way. But I think that's what happens with biopics, right? We got the same thing when they released the Straight Outta Compton movie about NWA. It made
That was a
easy.
bop, though.
Yeah, it was a bob, but the narratives around there, especially with the way Dre behaved around Suge Knight and how Easy looked like a buster, that's not really what's gonna happen. And I'm probably sure if the documentary was made by, say, an Easy E, it would probably portray Dr. Dre and Ice Cube on the other camp in a different light, right? So tying it back to the Michael Jackson mixed reviews, why people say certain events were not portrayed in the right way. I think it's something that we're just gonna have to deal with, right? We probably will not get 100% accurate description of events. So yeah, I'm super excited for Michael. I'll definitely tap in, and yeah, what you think, Franchi?
I'll definitely tap in as well. Y'all just told me about the whole thingy, man. I seen Peter or someone from P Square doing a crazy dance on social media. I didn't know there was a frenzy or a biopic, so I won't be doing that dance, but I sure will be tapping in for sure. Man, so yeah, yeah, yeah. I know,
Nice,
I know. We've been
nice.
Oh,
talking about
bro,
some
man.
foreign things, foreign music. I don't know if anyone ran into some funny, stuff. Fat Joe on his, I think it was an interview
Yeah,
talking
with
about
Buju, yeah?
Buju, with
Bro,
Buju
like, come on,
Banton,
man.
I think
and
it
And
was
and
then
it's
Buju sort of
fire
clapped back
back.
at him, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Do
liked
you
So,
what
think that
Buju
was
is
needed
doing.
though? Do you just stay your lane?
so
Do you
yeah,
need
so
to
But you,
for
fall
our
but
back?
you,
viewers who don't understand, let me provide a little bit of context. I think
Yeah.
on the Fat Joe and Jada Kids podcast, they had a guest recently, Buju Banton, the reggae dancer legend. And I think
yeah,
in one of the segments, I think Fat Joe, in his usual manner, was speaking about a guy in Africa, aka Benson, Buju Benson, who was replicating the name or calling himself Buju Banton, and he spoke about him dismissively, and in usual Fat Joe manner, was very condescending about describing him and calling him a sucker and all that, which I don't think was called
Called
for.
him a fake guy, man.
Called him a fake guy, which I don't think was called for, right? Because
Yeah.
even the original Buju Banton, when they asked him how did he get his name, he said he got it because he
He
was paying homage to someone else. So how can you not
yeah.
understand someone else being inspired and taking your name? No disrespect meant. So yeah, I think it was just a complete shit show in that regard. And Buju came online, found about it, and took some personal medical shots at Fat Joe, which was crazy.
Very disrespectful medical shots, man. But I did watch the interview with Fat Joe and Buju. And the funny thing is Buju Banton wasn't actually condescending. He sort of spoke in a way that gave props to Bojo in the sense of he understands where it's coming from in terms of your name being you finding a name from your friends.
Mm.
Most of us, we get nicknames from experiences we have with our friends. So
Mhm.
we don't know why Benson decided to call himself Buju. And just a wording note though, he never called himself Buju Banton. He just called himself Buju. So it wasn't like he took the full Buju
Oh,
Banton name, so and at the end of the day, when he realized that it was going to be a concern using the Buju name, he
he
quickly
changed exactly.
switched up to Benson, said Benson, formerly known as Buju. So
Buju.
that's
Yep.
basically acknowledging the mistake that, okay, this is not going to work, and it's
Hmm.
better to, redefine myself based on my own personal name. And this is something that he's done probably 4 or 5 years now. I'm not even sure, but
Yeah, yeah.
he's done this.
I
Yeah, it's been a while. So to have
Fajo was
Fat
just being
Joe,
silly.
yeah, just
Exactly.
coming up again and
It's
dropping
just being
shots at a
silly.
guy that
Yeah.
I guess he deserved the. Okay, I'll say medical jokes are not to be. They're not funny and they're not really what you should say, but it is what it is. You
Yeah.
know,
but guess what?
you fuck around and find out, I guess.
But guess
True.
what, yo? But guess what, yo?
Yeah, man.
Benson. Benson is dropping a project with one of my favorite producers from Nigeria soon.
Stars. Yep.
Fast.
Yeah, I think in May 11. So yeah, he's riding
Okay.
the wave of the cloud and he's gonna give us some
Yeah,
heat.
I saw he
Hopefully,
dropped a video recently after the whole
Bruhaha.
topic
yeah.
went viral.
I'm
Yeah, so
I'm just eager to hear what SARS does on that, man, because SARS always brings that
SARS is
heat.
sick, he's obviously gonna
Mhm.
be sick beats and
Pun intended.
Buju just has to
And Buju will ride it,
yeah,
man. I trust him.
yeah, Buju is gonna, ride the wave and do his normal singing. So I think we can, call it a day here. It's been good conversations, covered
Mhm.
sports and music, covered the Drake Iceman album, which all of us are obviously looking forward to. And we've all
Exactly.
suggested that we expect it to be about 400 to 500,000 in sales. So
Yep.
let's just see if Drake is able to meet those numbers as we've all suggested. And we also touched on Michael Jackson's biopic. You guys should go out there and, have a look at the
Support the king of
biopic.
pop. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Support MJ. He's the beginning of all this, he's the beginning of artists like Drake, as a matter of fact. So,
Exactly.
um,
Like MJ.
yeah, so I think this is a good way for us to call it a day. Thanks everyone for joining our podcast again this week. Please remember to subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms. Tap in.
Let's go.